You not gonna do nothing. You are not above me. I bet you wish you was me. I know it, I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast.
Oh, it's going to be a good one today.
Well,
Is this real life?
It's me and Landon chewing on nuts in the microphone.
You can't hear anything.
The fuck we can't.
Can't.
Fucking squirrel over there.
Oh, man.
Mics are off, man.
We're like 3 seconds from going live, and we just hear... Berkey just looks over and goes, are you fucking kidding me?
And then he picks up the bag of peanuts and throws a bunch more in his mouth.
You can't hear any of it, bro.
Bro's got to eat.
Dude,
Bro's
so
got to
hungry.
eat.
that shit was hilarious.
Oh, man. Fired up today.
300 episodes. You would think we'd reach some level of professionalism.
303.
You would think we would reach some level of professionalisal where, you know, doing
No.
things like chewing in the mic is just...
I think we're regressing, actually.
Well, look, I wore underwear today.
we do appreciate...
Yes.
How do you not see it as a problem when you're sitting like this and all we can see are your underwear? Like, the shorts aren't even existing any longer.
Look at Brian. It's the same thing.
No, it's not. I don't see Brian's underwear. I see your underwear, not your shorts.
Those inner thighs, though. Whoo,
These?
boy. Yeah.
Yo,
Look at
Chauncey's
that.
getting fat. Go back to Chauncey.
Look at that, man.
That's a big boy.
Guap, did you just... Your mic doesn't work again.
R.I.P. to our boy
R.I.P.
Guapo.
Yeah.
God damn it, man. Guapo was good for this show at one point in time.
was.
But now, he's been retired. Look, I don't want the narrative to get out there that, like, we did this.
I mean,
like,
ever since Guapo started cooking, you know, his mic just went off. I wonder who did it.
I don't want to hear about this sabotage bullshit. Like, he's in charge of all the tech stuff. If anything, it's Andre who's the real henchman here.
Bro is self-reporting.
Okay. Do we have any idea why your mic is out? Okay.
He said he'll mess around with it for the people that cannot hear him.
Yes.
I mean,
No.
not through our headphones, no.
No, we
But
can't hear shit.
I can
You're
hear
talking
you.
loudly enough that it's seeping through.
I have the ears of a hawk.
Yo, it's tag team day. It
Well,
is
hold on.
tag team day.
Can we unpack that for a second?
What?
The ears,
It's
the ears of a hawk.
It's from a show.
Oh, okay, go on.
Tell us more.
The point is, obviously, ears of a hawk doesn't matter, but it was from a show. I forget what show, but I've heard it before. That was funny, you know. It
Like
was
eyes of
appropriate.
a hawk instead.
No.
Ears of a hawk.
Hawkeye is being changed now to
Hawk
Hawkier.
That's right.
Apparently,
Do
Yeah.
hawks have ears?
I'm sure.
They hear some shit. I can hear Guapo.
Maybe not externals, but
Yeah.
you know,
They're out there.
internals. Anyway, it is tag team day.
Let's go. Our partners are in town. We're ready to roll.
Have you guys met your partners yet?
I have not. Mine just got in. Shout out to Wes. He just got in this morning, so we're going to go register right after this.
What about everybody else?
I have not yet. My partner got a delay on his flight, so
Same. My guy got in at 11 o'clock last night, 11:30, so.
Come from the East Coast?
Yeah, I think Atlanta.
my guy's from Florida.
Oh, that's right. You got Florida man.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
fucking
Josh.
Oh, you got
appropriate.
Josh, yeah.
How appropriate.
He said that he wanted me to go an hour later so he can get a workout in. I said, "This is the energy we need."
Yes, absolutely. That's our guy.
Yep.
We
That's my
like-
splinter twin.
I met my partner yesterday, Trent. Gave him a little tour of the facilities. This is his first World Series. He's never
been. He's been to Vegas or
He's
no?
been to Vegas like 2 or 3 times, but he's never played the World
Oh
Series.
man, what a treat!
First event ever.
He gets to play with Big Bet Berkey.
Yeah. he was a little bit taken aback by the scenes. Ran into Shireen yesterday, and she had nothing but glowing things to say about you, Landon. She's like, I met Landon yesterday. I go, yeah? She goes, really nice guy.
Why are people surprised?
He is a really nice, sweet guy.
And she's like, he's also really tall. I'm like, yeah, they don't make shorts long enough for this kid. You know, you got legs like a kickboxer.
Yeah, you got to overcompensate somewhere, right?
I guess so. But yeah, he seems pretty pumped. I'm gonna let him play as much as possible.
That's my plan too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I didn't realize there were no breaks. That kind of
breaks.
makes it a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm sure that the people who like take the tag team seriously are fine with the no breaks. And in general, I would be very happy with no breaks in an MTT. But in this particular scenario, it's not great for me. Because like I don't want to be on site. You know, like
It's on site.
It is
it
on
is on
site.
site.
On God.
So I'm going to be at Bellagio sprinting across the fucking walkway to get in a little bit of a couple orbits to give a man a pee break here and
Imagine they just made it like an Iron Man tournament where there's just no breaks the entire way through.
There aren't.
No,
Oh,
he's
you mean
saying
to the end of the
No
tournament.
bagging.
Oh,
You
no
just,
bagging.
you just play for like 3 straight days or whatever.
That
2
is
straight days.
honestly how the tag team event should go. That would be so cool.
if it were still a
Honestly.
4-man team, I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
4-man. What if they have 2? They have like a tag team like this, like the two-man team. Then they have like the 4-man Iron Man tag team, like a 10K tag team championship.
I think the problem with like an Iron Man or whatever would be
Who's gonna carry the boats?
yeah, exactly. who's working the fucking late shift, you know?
Yeah.
They find people.
There's always a cast game grinder ready to play.
Yeah, but the problem is if you're up between midnight and 4, you're missing on the juicy games.
That is true.
Like the only reason to be up during that time is because some drunk whale has wandered his way from the sports book into the high limit area.
That's how we get David Goggins into poker. We have a 4-man tag team event
Right.
where he had no teammates.
David Goggins won the 4-man tag team event solo.
Yep. Stay hard.
Efro said something that's kind of true. He said sitting out for 5 to 10 minutes with the speed of MTTs are played at these days. It's honestly not that much.
That's
of a thing,
true. That
if
is
we're being
true.
reasonable. Because like honestly, I don't know who's dealing today, but I can tell you one thing: 5 or 10 minutes is like a hand and a half. Sometimes.
No, that's for sure true. Deep in day 2 of the 3K, on day 2s you only get 15-minute breaks, but you're on the horseshoe side, so we're close enough to be able to go to the room.
Yeah.
And there was still, I don't know, this was before the bubble, so there was probably still like 300 people left, something like that. And my stomach started gurgling. I had an emergency, and I looked, and I was the cutoff, and there was 8 minutes before break. I was like, all right, at 3 minutes, I'm out of here. And I left. I think I ended up leaving in the low jack, and I came back, and I missed one hand.
Wow.
And this is pre-bubble.
Jeez.
That's sick.
So like I have 3 minutes early for break, came back normal time, whatever, and I was like under the gun 1. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, pre-bubble, it's gonna be slower.
no, like not like not
pre
like, yeah.
pre before
Not
the
soft
bubble's about
bubble.
that. Right.
Not
right,
soft
yeah, yeah.
bubble, like does not matter play
Right.
time.
Like 100 away from the
yes,
money.
yes. But yeah, MTTs, man, they're a fucking grind.
Yes, that they are.
I wish there was. It just makes me like really hope for hands per level, but it's just ain't it for these bigger field
Do
tournaments.
you even play poker?
Sometimes.
Do you even lift, bro?
This has been the World
Yeah.
Series of naps as far as I'm concerned.
Bro, I played the win yesterday. I was so tired 2 days ago. I just needed some naps.
I've just never seen somebody nap the way you nap. I
was
mean,
tired.
it's remarkable. I don't
Look.
even play tournaments. I got 2 day 2s, a day 2 day 3, 1 day 3. I got 2K. What's going on here, young buck?
You see, why are you ruining this for me, Burke? Like, I haven't bagged yet, and then I found out that Landon hasn't bagged yet, and it made me feel better because I'm like, well, he's really, really good, and he hasn't bagged yet.
He's
And I
also
bagged-
playing
and then-
events-
but then I realized he hasn't played any events, so how can you bag? It's just like, Jesus.
He's also playing events where the structure is good enough that, like, you know, half the field does bag.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, not like you got to finish
Right.
in the top 1%
Right,
just
yeah.
to put
literally
a chip
3
in
to
a bag.
5% to bag in the ones I've been playing.
Yeah,
so.
you've been doing great, Brian.
Except for the monster stuff.
You've been doing great.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody hold you down, man.
Nobody's holding me
We
down.
got high hopes for you in this tag team event.
Oh,
Look,
let's go.
I'm somebody that either has many chip or has no chip
Yeah.
very early.
I can relate to that.
You know?
I am also somebody who has many chip, or not many chip. Or sometimes I bag 9 blinds and then get 14th.
I usually get many.
Because you know
chips.
why? Because I remember back in 2012 running into Jason Kuhn.
Stop. This story
Not the
needs to
story
end.
again.
The
this
story needs
guy.
to
I
end.
actually have no idea what
Gotta
you're about
have
to say.
heart, bro.
Stop.
I really have no idea what you're about to say.
I literally just told the story last week.
I wasn't
He
listening
wasn't
to
here.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds bad. Honestly, I think he was here and he was not listening.
He was here physically.
My story is the one I like, is the grafted one.
Which one?
When you bust
When he
the
took me
5K, you guys go get a
Took
cup
me
of
to
coffee.
or whatever.
He talks you into getting back in, and you bust the first hit.
Fucker. I was so dejected. I was done. I'm like, I'm not playing any more events. And this fucking guy is just like, mate, you got to be in there. You got to be in it to win it. And I'm just like, yeah, or, you know, I don't. And I just save 5K. He's like, no. Like, I mean, look at these fields. I'm about to go register 100K. It's like, yeah, all right. We'll give it a fire. No, one fucking hand. Ejector seat.
I know it's a little belated, but we do have to give a big shout out to our boy Matt Hunt, who has finished, I believe, second
in the Venetian
1600 freezeout on
Yep.
Sunday. Yeah,
Yep.
for $52,000. It's not bad. He got $52,000 and COVID for his second place finish.
Let's fucking go, Hunt.
Yeah, it's
Good job, Matt.
it's not really belated when he's had COVID the whole time since he's gotten second place.
Right, that's true. Yeah,
Time freezes.
He literally
Yeah.
he's just said he's like, oh yeah. He tweeted something about like, man, I need a break because my body's feels like it's breaking down from all these tournaments. And no, he just had COVID.
He's had some interesting tweets. Like,
Oh, you can't see now.
We need a behind the
We got,
scenes
like,
camera so
like
badly.
construction going on over there.
Guapo's cooking.
Yeah, Guapo's cooking. Trying to
Speaking
get
of construction and cooking, did you guys see this apartment fire?
Oh my god!
It's taking over the nation. There were.
I wondered if it was gonna be national news.
It was definitely national news. It was also a national meme. Have you guys? Did I put it in the chat?
Jesus
Bro.
Christ.
I mean, I don't even know if it's gonna matter. Guapo's
bro's trying to get himself a voice.
retooling his entire
He's really got something to say.
setup. I need to find this meme. I can't entrust it into anybody else.
I don't even know about this one, to be
Do
honest.
you know the girl, the little girl?
Yes, the
that
girl
looks-
fire meme?
Yes, where
Yeah.
she looks evil.
It looks like a young Alex Botez, yes.
Okay, I think that's rude to Botez, but
Yeah,
you know,
Botez
if
is
you-
young.
If you want to go that
The girl
route,
is literally a child.
yeah, she's a child. I don't see any Botez there, but whatever, man. I mean, if you want to equate her to Satan, baby, then fine.
She did it herself. I'm just reiterating.
That's on you, I guess.
It's on her.
But people were taking it upon themselves to recreate the meme
Sure.
with the apartment fire blazing in the background.
Jeez.
That's fucking
That's
great.
what
Oh my god.
that's what that was. It was just an apartment fire, like that huge fire.
Yeah, so it was a new construction.
Yeah, it wasn't occupied. I
No,
believe.
the ones in the front are occupied. It was the ones in the back. So
Yeah, well,
was good.
it was big enough where I'm sure it did spread to other buildings.
I looked when I drove past it. It looked like it was kind of back there, like by itself.
Nobody got hurt, just big fire.
As far as I know, I wonder
That's nice.
what do you think the probability of this being a failed real estate project, getting the insurance money?
Nah.
Michelle said the same thing. She's just like, sometimes
Not zero, right?
She's like, you're building this thing and the units aren't selling.
Yeah, you just want out.
And you got a lot of insurance on it.
It's definitely not zero.
Not zero.
But I would think that a lot of people are moving in Vegas and the demand is there.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, at least having tested the market myself, it seems like inventory is relatively low.
Yeah.
God, I'm so mad at myself for not putting this in the chat. It's so good. It's just this girl like in the corner with the blaze behind her going.
We showed it, didn't we show it?
Oh, you
Showed
did?
it? Yeah, he
He
showed
got
it.
it.
Wait,
Yeah.
of the
No.
person mimicking it, or
No,
just the actual?
no.
Oh, just the regular meme.
The regular
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It gets the point across.
Yeah. So it was still smoldering this morning.
Yeah.
It was still
2
like
days later.
fully ablaze yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get kicked out of the gym?
No?
So Rob ended up clearing the gym because
It's
there was
right
like,
there, right? Real close.
yeah,
Not right there.
maybe
but
like a
it's-
half a mile away.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
When?
Yesterday morning. So I'm just like powering through my workout and I'm noticing that the place is empty, which is weird because usually people come in at 9:30. He has that like select group of women that come in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is this place empty? And I was like, whatever, I'm on my last set and I have 5 minutes to get it done. So I'm like cranking out the rower and I hear Scott in the background going, "You just want all the smoke." And I'm like, What are you talking about? He's like, "You want all the smoke?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm getting it. Like, I'm getting it."
Yeah,
like-
man, I got it.
He's like, "No, you don't smell that?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "We have pounding headaches. Like, we're closing the gym." And I'm like, "Oh, well, can I finish cardio?"
I want to carry the boats.
Jeez.
It's like, a little restriction on the oxygen. It's got to be good for fat loss. Like, let's get this done here,
Yeah.
Sure.
Little smoke inhalation. Never
No,
hurt
I was
anyone.
out of there earlier.
did it?
I was out of there like 9:10 because I walked back. You literally saw me
I know.
on the
That
drive.
was that's why I assumed you got kicked out. That was the fastest I've ever seen you work out in my life.
No, I got there really early. I got there like 7. I woke up early for
Did you get a
some
nice
reason.
pump?
Did.
Yeah.
Landon takes 2 hours to do a 45-minute workout. It's quite impressive.
He does walk to the gym.
He does walk to the gym, and he walks back.
I do.
2 miles uphill each way.
Yep.
Just like our granddaddies.
Just like you when you used to walk to fucking school or whatever.
I did walk to school.
I walked to school.
I did walk to school.
Yep.
I did walk uphill there.
No, I walked.
I did not walk uphill down or back.
I walked directly across the street.
Got in a lot of fistfights on that playground.
You poor thing.
Did you win any of them?
Nope, none of them.
That's
I
rough.
don't even know if I threw a punch. I just
You're just a living punching bag.
yeah. Poo. Fucking poo, man. We got taken to the jail cell.
What did Melissa do?
Not Poo Dog.
Uh,
Mark, what was his last name?
Pooh.
Remember Pooh?
Yeah.
Was it Mark Hunter, maybe? I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't even know why. I didn't dislike him. He just decided that he was a new kid at school, and the first day there, he's like, "I'm gonna fight you."
Mm-hmm. That's what you have to do, and you're a new one there. You got to establish dominance.
You have to assert yourself.
Yeah.
Same thing, schoolyard, jail. What the hell's the difference?
Yeah, it was bad. He didn't actually punch me.
No.
We just squared up, and the cops came.
Did you sue him?
No, did not sue him.
Did you tweet at him?
Great segue though. But we have a few other things
Damn.
few other highlights to note before we get there. Huge shout out to Ashley. Why?
Frank.
There it is. Frank.
Poker face Ash.
I was
Just do that.
just gonna call her Poker Face Ash.
She has two first names. It's
She got 16th in the monster stack for 53,000, I believe.
50 something. Yeah, 56 maybe.
Former Academy attendee.
Yep.
Student of Fausto, who's also one of the OGs from the Academy.
Did she come to an academy? She came.
Yeah.
She did the homeschool, right?
She did homeschool. I think she came to one of the early MTT academies.
Oh, maybe she did. I know that. Wasn't she a recipient of the scholarship that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that we were
From
gifted.
Linda.
Yeah, from Linda.
Yeah.
And then
Linda's
now,
the goat.
and now she's went on to.
She's mashing.
Yeah, just mashing. She got a ring. She's going deep in a lot of things, and now 16th out of 80.
Man, that's such heartbreak.
No, she didn't seem heartbroken at all.
Well, no, because it's the biggest score of her career right now.
Right, it is biggest score of her career, and I mean, she was just. I mean, it's thrilling, right, to run that deep, especially in a tournament where it's 1.1 million.
It's a weird feeling when you feel like you're that close.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you are.
Right.
But you already made your biggest score, and you're like,
well, yeah, and like technically you are that close, but you know you're
not
20 or like 60 or sorry, like 25x less than what first place is.
Mm-hmm.
But then on top of that, as the tournament plays out, you realize that like you're actually like 12 hours away.
Yeah.
From winning the whole thing.
It's an insane thing to think about the stakes you play final two tables of a tournament like that, where first is 1.2 million, like 1.187, and then 16th is 50K.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I guess like we're just playing like at 1,000, 2,000 effectively.
Right.
Or things along those lines. It only goes up from there.
I mean, even the difference between third and first, right?
Guys,
it's like $600,000.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's time for a CSA.
Please, no, God,
It's
no.
time for a CSA, guys.
Who lets bro cook?
And
Nobody. He lets himself cook.
Who let bro in the kitchen?
I'm the motherfucking chef around here, all right? Now listen.
Bro overcooks.
I need you guys to know that 3% of Canadian deaths are caused by EUTHANSIA.
Euthanasia?
Yes.
Okay.
3%.
Okay. Just assisted suicide. Oh, maybe not in this context. Sorry, I was taking it I was leaping to something that's humane.
Yeah.
And now I'm realizing that you're saying this because it's inhumane.
Probably.
Yeah. Wait, what the fuck?
I've been so thrown off that I had to say it out
Where
loud.
did this come from?
So,
It's some sort of medical report?
it's just a stat somewhere.
I don't understand.
Somebody just passed on a stat to me, and I just was reading it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Wait.
A Canadian.
This is
Canadian.
not. This can't be.
This can't be real.
3% of Canadian deaths are caused by euthanasia.
3%'s a lot.
I know it is. I'm fucking like, what the fuck?
All right, listen. This is why you can't just open links that are text to you and then read them open on air and treat them as facts. Like, there's no way 3% of Canadians die via euthanasia.
We need to move this segment off the show.
I'm going on.
The CSA altogether.
CSA is gone.
Right.
Is
No.
Conrad the kind of person who, like, when he just gets a random text from a random number that says, "Hi, how are you?" He responds to it. Good. How are you doing?
Unbelievable. It's unreal.
What the actual fuck?
Dude,
I'm going to euthanize that segment.
No, it's humane.
It's not.
It's humane to remove the segment.
Yes.
No, it's
I
inhumane
agree.
to do such things.
I agree. Yeah. Are you sure you're not talking about animal deaths?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would make a lot more
right,
sense.
That would make a lot more sense.
3% of dogs
sure,
were
yeah.
euthanized last year.
Damn, GG.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you confuse people with
3.3. Oh, so it's medically assisted, but
okay, so I was right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
suicide. Yeah.
see,
it's
so
3.3% though.
I jumped to the right conclusion.
That's-
Shout out to Dr. Kevorkian.
Right. It's obviously a debatable ethics / morality conversation, I guess. But if it's allowed there, then good on them.
I'm all for it.
Because it's not allowed here, and Dr. Vorkium went through some shit because of it.
Yeah.
Dr. Death.
High five for Michigan. That's your highlight. You birthed Corey Paget and Dr. Death. Some would say that Corey Paget is the Dr. Death of ring events.
He kills all his opponents and takes the
Next
ring.
topic, please, God.
Talk about Michigan, man. Cata just final tables the fucking monster.
Of course he does. He's the best at 1,000-person fields, maybe
You
ever.
mean
Yeah.
8,000 person?
Well, sort of.
Jesse got
Who knows
third.
somebody unique? Lonis?
No, Rockowitz, I believe his last name is. He's Jared's friend.
Jared.
One of,
Man, you're on a lot of first name basis with people that I don't fucking know.
yeah, he
Jesse
fucking lives at Geno's house.
Oh,
Mangini?
Oh, Mangini.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Mangini.
Colin Robinson, which I love this kid. This kid's awesome. He's final tabled every 1K in Florida with me. He got second.
So he final table 1?
No, 3. There were 3 of them.
I see. Okay, based.
Nice, sir.
Based as fuck.
Wow.
Well, yeah, shout out to all of them.
That was 5 minutes. We'll never get back.
Coming from you, how
Honestly,
fucking ironic.
I totally disagree. I think this is the most value Conrad's added in months. I would love for him to just go on these random nonsense so we could just always get to the bottom of what the actual truth is.
Right.
Because it's never whatever he leads with.
It's true.
We should have you start doing the ad reads in this nature. Did you guys know?
Conrad, do you have any updates on the vessel that went down to see the Titanic?
Oh, actually, I went looking for it yesterday, but I couldn't find it. Yeah,
Not looking good.
it wasn't out there.
No,
Don't
it's
look good, cuz.
No, it really
That's-
doesn't.
so-
It's
So it was a submarine that was taken.
they call it a submersible. It's like it's like a small.
It's a shoebox.
Yeah, it's essentially the size of like a van, and they were like going 2 miles beneath the surface, which obviously is a lot of pressure.
12,000
A lot of
meters,
things
I believe.
it looked like the guy who was running the,
Or 2,000
the
meters,
tour
sorry.
and developed the submersible was, I don't know, he didn't check all his boxes.
Was he in the submersible?
He was, I think. Yeah.
Oh, good. We
So-
got what he
No, he
deserved.
could.
Well,
There's like 5 people
I
in
mean,
there.
stress test
Yeah,
his own product.
I think it was like 5 people, but it doesn't look good.
It's rough.
Yeah, hopefully they think like if there was like a leak or something, it would just essentially explode,
Yeah.
which I think is probably better than slowly suffocating.
Yeah, of course.
So
Please.
So there are a few things to touch on here. First of all, there were reports this morning saying that they found debris within the field of the Titanic.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't know what they're dealing with technologically speaking, but it seems a little weird to me. I understand that the depths of the ocean are difficult to get to, but it seems a little weird to me that we're 3.5 days into this thing, and they're not exactly sure of like what they're looking for yet, or like where.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like you have a pretty clear target that you're aiming for.
I don't know. The ocean is pretty vast. I know they were like going to a certain way, but if you get steered off course or something, then
Well,
who knows
yeah,
where
I
it
guess
could
my
be.
point is like I would start to look
there.
there.
Yeah, of course.
And then, hope for the best because we're on a time constraint. If they veered off course, then, they ain't going to make it, bro.
Right.
But the other things being discussed, and I'm really into this conspiracy. I like it.
Yeah, this is a Pat McAfee.
Yeah, this is a Pat
conspiracy,
McAfee special. I'm kind of into it, man. Because why else would why would a billionaire want to pay some small amount of money,
right? $250,000.
right, to go to the depths of the ocean, where
Because people are adventurous.
they're adventurous. I understand, but
They like doing these things.
right.
because-
But when you're a billionaire, you just pay somebody else to go down there and bring back the video.
I mean, I don't think so, man. I think I don't think all billionaires think alike.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe
I
not.
get what you're saying. It's like, I got everything. Like, why would I put myself in that kind of danger? But some people just
No.
what they like
Look,
to
I
do.
get it. You can't take it with you. Be adventurous. I understand. I'm just saying. I like
If
this
you
conspiracy.
wanted
If you wanted to vanish off the face of the earth,
to fake your own death,
yeah, if you wanted to vanish off the face of the earth, maybe never pay taxes again
mm-hmm.
and go live on the island that you bought with your billions of dollars. Seems like a pretty viable way to fake a death.
Yeah,
Dude.
for sure.
Dude, the FBI is listening, all right?
Were they in that vessel, Conrad? Do you think they were in that vessel?
What
Yeah, for like
The
5
yeah.
minutes when they got in, and then when they were underwater, they got
did the
out.
swoop and swap.
Yeah, obviously. Got to
Uh-huh.
something else, and then blew that shit up.
Guapa, how you doing over there? Okay.
silence?
Oh,
We got
Nothing, right?
Oh,
No.
we got you. Yes,
Whoa, really?
we hear you.
You just didn't have the right mic hooked up.
Maybe you guys can hear me. I don't know if chat can. Chat, if you
Chat, can you hear tortillas?
It's kind of remarkable that I called on him just to like see if he had a voice, and he stared me right in the eyes and gives me a hand signal. Oh man, yeah. I think that I think the unfortunate thing with the submarine. Well, not the unfortunate thing. Obviously, if somebody actually died, that's terrible. But the thing
I
that's
think that's the most likely case. That
Yeah.
somebody that
yeah, of
we
course,
had a tragedy.
of course.
Yes, you're good.
The most compelling thing I think is that we'll never know. So it's kind of like the plane off Malaysia or whatever that
I mean, if
disappeared.
they could recover the bodies, I don't know how difficult that would be, but maybe.
How could they ever recover them?
Well, there's a big difference between the plane and of like 100 and something people and a 5-person submarine.
Both of them disappeared.
I mean, they have things that go down and take pictures of the Titanic.
Oh,
so
that's not my. I'm saying with the pressure and
Oh,
everything else,
right.
the
would,
whatever's living down there.
Right.
If they exploded, then
Yeah.
you'll never recover
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if they suffocated, like you have to recover the vessel.
Oh, I
Right.
was thinking for the
Yeah.
aspect of them pulling the swapperoo.
Oh yeah.
I'm still working on that aspect.
I understand. So the other thing that the other theory that was getting thrown around was
Theory.
and this is a tough one. They were speculating that if you killed one person on board, you would get an extra 12 days of oxygen.
Wait,
No.
really?
Yeah,
In the vessel?
yeah.
Well, they only had 40 hours total, so I don't know how one person.
I don't know
extended
either,
12,
but that was
that doesn't sound great.
I'm
It
not a
doesn't,
fan of this
but
conversation.
I don't know.
What do you mean? You ate your brother in the womb.
Yeah, but that was over with, and that wasn't in my control. Next topic. Next topic.
Who do you kill? I mean, you if it's gonna get you a week, if it's gonna buy you a week's time, like your likelihood of getting rescued is pretty high.
Mhm. Imagine you do figure out which one you kill them, and then like 5 minutes later they find you. Like, oh shit.
I think
Or
you
worse,
talk about it.
they stop looking because they assume after 96 hours
Yeah.
that they have no more oxygen.
I think you talk about it. Like, you just kind of like, all right, well, who's in the worst shape here?
Who's the oldest?
Draw some straws or something. I don't know.
So that wasn't where my mind went. I was talking to Lewis about this at the Bellagio yesterday.
Who's Lewis?
Capaldi.
You're on a lot of first name basis over here.
Everyone knows Lewis. He's the Misreg 20-something Englishman.
Spencer.
Spencer.
May or may not be known as hot potato.
I love
Why hot potato?
During the main I think it was last year or 2 years ago, when he ran deep, like every time he won a pot, Emma would be in the stands like, hot potato! And just like they're clapping.
Lewis is the best.
Yeah.
He, we played this hand yesterday where he's in the big blind, I'm in the small blind. It goes like raise call from like late position. I call ace 9 suited out of the small, and Lewis like thinks for a while and then folds the big blind. And it comes like ace queen 9, 2 diamonds, checks around, turn king. I bet and just win. King of diamonds. I just bet and win. He goes, "Do you have a flush?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Oh, I made a pretty tight fold. I would have had a small flush." And I just look at him. I go, "This is why you don't have a seat."
Get out. Get out.
like, what happened to you? Do you have like a little gimp at home that's wearing a latex suit, and every time you call with a hand that's 2 pips too wide, he just whips your ass when you walk through the door? Like, gamble a little bit, man. There's a giant casino sign when you walk through the doors. Like, it's okay to defend 8-4 of diamonds once in a while.
Man.
Live a little.
It was unreal. Oh man, these fucking guys.
Did you have it's so good? Just like table ace 9 and just be like, no, no, I didn't.
I was just like, no, I didn't have flush.
You would just win a big pot, Lewis.
Yeah, you would have won a nice one. But we were talking about, like, he's like, who do you kill? And I'm like, I'm less concerned about who you kill, and I'm more concerned about once you come to grips with someone's gonna die, how do you kill them?
Right. Yeah.
Because like, even if you're the sacrificial lamb and you're like, all right, I'm willing to die for the cause. Go nuts, guys.
I mean, you just have to strength. Oh yeah. That's,
Yeah, well, you're nice. Yeah, like, you're gonna fight back if someone tries to strangle you.
Right.
It's a tiny little vessel. It's not like they can hang themselves.
I mean, you just choke them out.
What are we gonna think about these dark?
Can we stop, please?
It's not like Andre's on board.
I mean, all you have to do is give up the neck and it's over.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
suffocation's like one of the worst ways to die. I mean, it's euphoric, but
What are you gonna do? Like, you have four or three other people, right? Hold the fucking legs out and kill this motherfucker.
Jesus.
What are you gonna do? You have to extend the limbs, like hold their limbs down, and just fucking choke them. What are you gonna do?
I would have just
Right.
been at the horseshoe if I knew this is the conversation going today.
But then you're stuck there with
Jeez,
this
man.
rotting bot. Well, at least you have something to eat.
yeah, I mean, you
Boris
know,
would think of the
Let him cook, I guess.
it buys you 12 days.
God,
you gotta eat raw.
12 days of being inside a fucking vessel with a
Tiny
dead
vessel
body.
with a rotting corpse.
Yeah, honestly, I might just like.
I'd rather
I'd
just
rather
die.
just die.
Just kill me now. I'll be like,
As a
you know what?
matter of
I'll be the sacrificial.
You guys want to live? Yeah, kill me.
Yeah.
I'll kill myself. This is absurd.
On to bigger and brighter things.
Literally anything we could talk about is bigger and brighter.
Does this remind you of the time you ate your?
Well, how did your brother taste?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Like placenta.
Do you get like flashbacks during
No.
dreams?
No.
Oh man, that'd be so fucked up.
That'd be real fucked up.
It would really explain a lot. I gotta tell you.
Can we just move on?
Did you guys see in the 50K horse that a satellite winner to a satellite got 8th?
Yes. Amazing.
Hal Rothels won a $675 satellite into a 5K satellite into the 50K horse players championship.
That's a parlay.
Gets
dope.
8th place for $141,000.
That's
God,
dope.
what a parlay.
We'll take
You
it.
think he sold any of his action?
I don't
Probably.
know. Probably.
Yeah.
I
But
remember. I remember when they ran satellites for they ran like a 10K satellite. It was either a 10K satellite that got enough people to have $1 million one drop seat, or it was a 10K satellite into 100K and then the 100K
Maybe. Yeah.
satellite to the one drop. But either way, I remember I didn't play it, but I remember we were like in other events listening as like Deeb and maybe Gus Hansen got heads up. And we were all talking about like, what would you do if you won the seat? And it's like, well, at the time I was, like a mid stakes. Maybe I'd start playing Ivy's Room, but like either way, I wasn't that rich. At most, I had like $500,000. And it's like $1 million is a big score. Like I would just like sell a discount. I think.
They just
Yeah.
sell a markdown.
Yeah.
Sell like 0.9,
Wow, that's
0.95.
very generous.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, like
Jeez.
at the same time, they might think like, oh, how much is he really gonna?
You can't. The problem with selling at a discount is that it disincentivizes you from doing well in the event.
Kinda.
Well, I mean, you're automatically giving up EV out of the gate. So now you're either incentivized to sell it all so that you have your one lump sum, or just keep it and gamble.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you sell
Still
markdown, it's
18
not a
million to
big deal.
first. I think if you sold
Like you
a bunch
keep
of it, you'd
keep
still wanna play
20,
well.
sell it markdown.
Yeah,
You'll still make money and still have a piece.
yeah.
Nice.
I wonder how much Antonio had of himself that year.
all of it.
Nah, he definitely had a lot. He's rich as fuck.
Good for him.
He disappeared.
He disappeared.
Poof.
Into the ether.
Into the ether. Two more feel good stories.
Please.
Since, we're off the submarine now. The
Why'd I bring that up?
no, I had it
It
up
was a
here.
great conversation.
I was gonna bring it up as a segue between the feel good stuff and the lawyer stuff, but
A little roller coaster.
we had a little in between.
What lawyer?
See, don't step on my segues, man. It's not a hood lawyer, so you can fucking relax. While we are taking a bit of a break, don't forget to head to WPT Global and have a chance to win $25,000 in a free roll entry into WPT Global's latest promotion, King of Cash. Starting June 18th and ongoing until further notice, for every 100 cash game hands played, you'll receive a raffle ticket for over $25K in weekly cash and prizes. Every player who earns 2 tickets in a week also gets access to the Kings of Cash weekly free roll. There's never been a better time to grind cash on WPT Global, especially with Tom Wheaton in those streets.
Yo, you say this every day, man.
Every day. Use promo code Berkey when you sign up today. You guys can click the link in the description below or hit hashtag WPT Global in the chat. Be sure to take advantage of their sign-up bonus, 100% sign-up bonus up to $1,200. So go out and get that free money.
Did WPT pay you extra to let them know that Tom's playing daily?
No, that's the chum in the water that I try to use to get the viewers to know how soft the games are.
Oh, okay. Cool. That makes sense.
Tom made the mistake of saying, these games are so soft. I'm crushing the 510. You should let the people know.
What?
And so I'm letting the people know.
It's been going bad for Tom after that?
I don't know if it's been going bad or not, but they all know that he's in those streets somewhere.
Oh, shit. Well,
He's doing all the hard work.
You guys know where to go.
So the perfect poker playing human, Jeremy Ausmus, wins his 6th bracelet in the last, I don't know, 3 years.
What the fuck, man?
What a beast.
2.5
He's on
years.
fucking Platt's fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's so
God
annoying.
damn it.
Man.
Damn it, Jeremy. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Just fucking lose, man. It's okay.
that one is kind of frustrating. That was his 3rd final table of the summer.
Yeah, we're getting rocked by him and him only.
Somehow he's not in Player of the Year contention. I mean, he's probably in contention, but he's not like in the top 5, I don't think.
Crazy.
They didn't add the points yet from online.
Oh, maybe not.
I mean,
But yeah, that's his 3rd final table. He final tabled the 100K, the 10K mystery bounty, as well as winning the 3,200 high roller online bracelet for $300-ish thousand. That's his 6th bracelet, as I previously mentioned, in the last 3 years.
What a goat.
Yeah, he kind of has some weird bracelets, man.
He has a couple online, right?
I think he has a couple online. Let me double check real quick. I know his first one was like the COVID relief event. It was like event 1 of the COVID series, and it was like $45,000 first. I remember he won a bracelet and he was stuck by event 3.
yeah, he won like the COVID turbo.
Yeah, it was for 52
Like
points.
58K. or something.
Online?
No, live.
Oh, live.
Yeah, it was live. It was the fall World Series one.
Mm-hmm.
It was live and it was only 45,000 the first?
Yeah, or 50
58.
something.
What was the buy-in?
It was a 1K.
Five-
It was a 1K.
Was it 1K?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just like a 1K like COVID relief charity turbo tournament.
Oh, okay.
That not many people played. But
Gotcha.
Jeremy played it because he won.
Because who loves it more? All right,
Very
let's see.
few.
Jeremy Ausmus has. Wow, they didn't even update his profile yet. They still have him at 5 bracelets. What a fucking joke.
Boo.
So he's won the online high roller for the $3,200 buy-in. He won online bracelet number 7 last year. $300 buy-in for $51K. Let me just do this. Much easier if I sort by place. He won the 3K 6 max limit hold'em
Yes.
bracelet last
Okay.
year. He has weird bracelets, man. I'm telling you. He won.
Spooky guy.
He won the. This one's very, very legit. Not that they're all legit, but this one's very legit. He won the PLO high roller,
Yeah, 50K.
the 50K,
Wow.
for a lot.
Mm.
1.1, almost 1.2 million. And then he won the COVID relief charity event. $48,000 the first 1K buy-in.
Wow.
Nice.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they're leaving one out. 5. I'm only counting 5, and that's with the online one. I swear this was his 6th. No.
You know what?
Do you think
What?
No.
Kevin Gerhardt
Oh
with
my
me for 5
God.
hours, but he went on to play the $1,500 horse. By the way, potentially some action here. Phil on Phil. Ivy in the small blind with King, Queen of Hearts. Ivy, of course, keenly aware of the fact that Hellmuth is on a short stack. Ivy makes it 70,000. Very curious to see what Hellmuth is going to do now with pocket tens.
2 8s, Ivy? I have 10s. Isn't it easy? Isn't poker easy for you, my man?
What just happened, ladies and gentlemen?
Long now.
What is going on? How do you say, Phil, do you have 8s and then you open full 10s?
That hand is one of the most impressive things I've
What
ever
is
seen in my
happening
life. You limp 10s under the gun off of fucking, what do you have? 10 big blinds.
No, it was more than
No,
that.
yeah, more than that. Yeah, like,
He had like
it's-
30, over
yeah,
like
it's 15K
45.
big blind. He has 15K big
yeah,
blind.
45, 35.
And he had 535. So yeah.
520K.
Hellmuth.
Big line
It's
15.
35
Yeah.
big one.
And he just limp mucked 10s.
Versus 4x. Yeah, here we are.
He
I mean, it's
4x from the
something.
big blind.
He knew that. He knew what? He knew.
He was going to lose a flip.
He knew he was gonna lose a flip.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how you do it.
I love
man.
that Ivy right then as he takes a sip of his drink, he's like has this little smile as he's just like thinking like, what the hell is going on?
There was a clip where like Phil was talking or whatever, and he goes, "Does this ever fucking change? 25 years and nothing's changed."
Yeah,
Same
he's like,
speech at
Same
25
speech for
years.
25 years. It really is. Though. It really is.
Oh, I found it. Jeremy's first bracelet was actually way back in 2013 at WSOP Europe.
Ah,
He
there you
won a
go.
$1,600 PLO. Very, very weird bracelets outside of the 50K in the online one. I
He's
guess.
a master of many games.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a beautiful bastard. It's really quite unfair.
It is.
He is 52 after all.
Looks great for 52, man.
I think, honestly, the 10s hand was impressive, but the PLO hand where he value betted the
Value betted.
value bet the deuces folds and
You're the best.
found his folds. That was that was way more interesting. I loved it. I loved everything.
Oh, wait. That was the King Deuce
Yeah.
versus
Deuce 4.
insane,
Yeah,
man.
It was so wild.
Honestly, like
Just fucking check then.
poor
If you're gonna fold, just check.
bro. He bet like 2 blinds on the river.
I know.
And I mean, I don't know if his opponent was bluffing or not. I don't think.
No, he had a boat. He had the worst. boat.
I know. I just don't think it's a check raise. And honestly, like Phil's, I'm not trying to make excuses for Phil, but his hand kind of does suck as a bet call because he blocks the nut flush,
Yeah.
which would be the thing that would go too thin for value. He blocks the underboats because he has a deuce in his hand, and he loses to like pocket 4s, which is a better. So it's like, it's probably a ridiculous fold, all things considered.
He should just check call though.
No, he's in position.
Check back.
He could check. I mean, you can't check back a boat. He should just bet bigger, and
That's
then
true, yeah.
and then maybe fold. But like for the small size, he lets a worse hand go for value, or bluff, or I mean,
Mega Master.
yeah. It's that's the problem is that he holds all the Mega Master cards.
Yeah.
Like if his opponent just had Ace Deuce with Ace of Diamonds, he could potentially turn it into a bluff, right? But you know, he just blocks all that shit. But I don't think Phil's thinking that way. I think he's just going, "You got pocket 4s? I knew you had pocket 4s. Fuck." I'm going to look like such a genius.
Set himself out of the hand.
man.
That is what's
Oh, man.
happening right now. What a crazy hand. I thought he was going to snap it off on the river there, knowing he's only beat by kings, 4s, and jacks, and he himself has a king.
Well, he's also never against
Phil
kings.
Hellmuth.
Yeah.
All he has to do is say call, but he is throwing it in the muck. He lays it down.
Unbelievable. That's also what makes the check jam like terribly bad if you're trying to get value. This motherfucker won't call with better, let alone worse.
He did cash the tournament. That was what it was all about.
That is what it's all about. Hey, another cash, another notch in the belt. Still chasing number 17. 17 is gonna be fucking hard for him to get. I'm telling you right
Another
now.
14th.
Well, 14th is 14th, man. He's knocking on the door. You
Someone
know.
else in this room got a 14th.
I did get a 14th, and I did it in a much different fashion than him.
Yeah. 'cause
We
you
put
could've
our
won.
fucking chips in play, baby.
Yeah.
Sometimes we win flips and we don't get 14th.
Correct.
Last note I want to touch on before we move into the Martin Cabral stuff. I ran into, this is a real feel good story. I ran into a man yesterday as I was touring the facility with my tag team partner, and he stops me and he goes, "I just have to thank you." And he's just this big presence of a man, smiling ear to ear. I'm just like, this guy's got good energy. Let's chat him up for a bit. I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, my name's Jay. I really have to thank you. And I go, for what? He goes, a lot of things. I'm like, okay, I'm all ears. And he's like, I watch the show every day. I love it. I love what you guys are doing. You guys reignited my fire for poker. I started playing a little bit more, and I decided to take the chance and come out here and fire a couple of events. I'm like, that's awesome, man. I'm really happy to hear it. Like, these are the stories that we live for. This is why we do it. And he goes, and I just want to let you know, I just want a fucking bracelet.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, what?
Jay
He's like,
Lockett?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He's
No,
like,
really.
he's like, I just
That's
want the
awesome.
500 freeze out.
I watched it. I was watching the monster stack, and they showed his final hand.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Such
so
a
dope.
cool dude, man. It was so much
It's
fun.
his second cash ever.
That's amazing.
Second tournament cash of his life, and it's a bracelet
Yeah,
and
why not?
$250,000.
Why not? Like, these are the stories that kind of fly under the radar.
It's
And
so
honestly, if
awesome.
I hadn't
Yeah.
ran into him in the hallway, we wouldn't have thought to cover this because
Yeah.
it's a smaller event. It kind of
Right.
flies under the radar. But
W story.
He beat
such
out 5,600 people.
yeah.
Literally 56. It's a freeze out. That's 5,600 unique
Uniques.
people.
Yep.
Man, it's so hard to win so many all-ins.
Not for Jay.
Now
Someone's
for
got
Jay, he said he was saying how just everything went right. He's like, obviously you have to run very
Yeah.
very well.
He tortoised it.
Yeah.
You're his inspiration.
Good. Hey man.
You're the
Let's fucking go,
meaning
Jay.
of my life.
Congrats,
Oh,
man.
Congrats,
the
Jay. That's awesome.
Inspiration.
What's happening?
Big shout out to Jay. I know he's
Yeah.
probably watching out there. We're really happy for you, man.
Go. W's
job,
for
buddy.
Jay.
That's nice. That's
W's in the chat for
W
Jay.
Riz. And his shirt is fucking popping, man.
Oh,
Go back to the
It was a
shirt.
nice
Back to the
shirt.
The
shirt.
shirt is W Riz for sure.
see?
You would wear this.
Let me see. I probably would.
You would wear
Yep.
this with your
I like
multicolored
your
hat.
shirt.
You like this shirt?
Yeah.
I believe
I got a couple of them.
Brent pointed out that his shirt was matching the chips. which
Oh
is
yeah,
actually
that shit's
pretty cool.
popping.
Yeah.
Got the hat flowing, got the chips
Look at that.
flowing.
Man, if I ever win a bracelet, I
Grinning
hope I'm
ear to
that
ear.
happy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that I will be, but I,
I will
hope
be.
I
will
I'll
be.
be biting my earlobes.
Never heard that
What
phrase.
the fuck?
Bro's got rabies.
What?
Oh man, I legit never heard that phrase.
If you can't bite
Incredible.
yours, I'll let you bite mine. All right.
Unreal.
Wow.
What a wholesome show we've been putting together.
What a feel good story we have here today.
Very feel good story. What doesn't feel good
We have
is
a tortoise trying to bite his ears
do tortoises have ears?
like a hawk.
Internal, maybe.
What doesn't feel so good is when you get hit with I don't know what to even call this. Not a cease and desist.
A tweet
A
suit.
notice of legal claims and preservations demand.
It sounds like a
what?
lot of words
Served.
about nothing.
You've been served.
Yeah,
You've been
I mean,
served.
Swerved.
I don't think it's actually being served.
It's like Twitter
It's,
serve.
it's like served adjacent. You know?
You're just being notified something's coming your way.
Yeah.
Basically, honey, you got a big
You're
storm
on
coming.
notice,
Yeah.
son.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steven Strasberg, former Academy attendee who also does some litigation. He said that the litigation hold that his lawyer tweeted is probably effective, but wouldn't count as service of process for an actual lawsuit. So I think what he's insinuating there is that the purpose of this tweet is basically to get people to stop talking about this, which would make a lot of sense practically.
Are we going to get one soon?
I mean, we haven't accused the guy of anything.
No, of course not. We're just
rolling the footage,
Right,
baby.
exactly.
You
yeah.
guys, you make your own decisions.
Yeah, we don't know. We give our opinion here and there. You know, who knows?
Yeah, we told Conrad before pre-production, shut up, and then we covered our asses that way.
Yeah.
That's the easiest thing to do, I think.
Not what happened.
But yeah, so there's a very long lawyery type tweet that was put out by Daniel B. Ravacher, who seems to be a father, an attorney, and a trader. All the things that I'm sure you're looking for when you want to file a defamation suit.
Shout out to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day.
So
What's he trade? Crypto? Stocks?
I can only imagine, man. It's 2023. What else are you going to trade?
Rare coins?
NFTs, mutants,
Tweets.
Yeah, he trades tweets. You know,
Pokemon?
he's in the metaverse.
Hogs?
He's a metaverse lawyer with Charles Liu. They run in closed circles
Yeah.
around here, you know?
Yeah.
They like to get in the poker drama. So the tweet reads, to the above named parties, which is Bonomo, Chance, Poker Go. Throwing Poker Go in there is a shot. Like that's a real. First of all, they didn't do anything except broadcast the fucking event.
Right, Jesus.
Like this makes it so flimsy from my perspective, but even still, we kind of spoke about this to begin with, where I think the fact that this is national news now is definitely a byproduct of Dan Smith and Roble and others, Bonomo and others, like kind of speaking out to the allegations against Martin. So from that standpoint, I could see where he has some sort of grounds, because clearly national news never picks this up if the poker world isn't a buzz about it. But I've read all of their tweets, and I don't think any of them were really anything more than opinions, right? Like, and again, I don't really necessarily know defamation law very well at all, and I probably should get more versed on it, considering we're on the mic 5 days a week. But I think Roble's tweet was like the strongest, the most strongest worded one, and it was just saying that this guy has marked cards in every tournament that I played with him, which is his observation. How are you going to prove one way or the other? And I'm not sure who the burden of proof falls on. I think in defamation, it probably falls on Martin to prove that Andrews somehow defamed him to the point that his image, his ability to earn, and all these other things have been compromised.
But if that's like his opinion, like, and he thinks
that's like your opinion, bro.
That's like his opinion. Like, he thinks that he's marking cards, and he said it.
That's what I mean. Like
what the fuck can you do?
I think even though it implies cheating, it doesn't actually, like, he didn't say Martin Cabral is a cheater.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's just implying that.
Hey, guys, something might be going on.
Yes, correct.
And if you don't imply something like that, how do you ever protect yourself or a community?
Right, exactly.
So, like, go fuck yourself.
That's
go that far.
That's called lawyering.
And there you have it.
Welcome
from
to
our
the-
resident lawyer, Conrad Simpson.
You're just gonna get Roble's gonna hire you for this one, Conrad.
Oh, let's fucking go.
Well, here is first of all, lawyer Roble can do much better.
Whoa.
How dare you, sir?
How fucking dare you?
No offense, Conrad.
How dare you,
All right,
sir?
well, no, since you said no offense, that's
Right,
fine.
of course.
That's fine.
Now
so,
he's not offended.
So the actual rest of the tweet of what they're accusing them of says, this firm represents Martin Cabral with respect to your false and defamatory statements that he is a cheater and marks cards.
With respect.
Just even unpacking that first sentence, I think is like very important, because I don't actually think any tweets from any of those people use the word cheater.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any of them actually outright called him a cheater.
Right.
They did accuse him of marking cards. What's happening?
That's Roble's law firm.
Oh, okay. Papa's over there watching porn in between switching shots.
Damn.
There is a girl half naked on the screen right now.
There is.
I'm looking at it. What do you mean? You want me to take a picture of it?
I know
This
you
sounds
tweeted.
defamatory.
Show you guys this.
See?
I
Look.
just wanted you guys to see if this looked familiar.
Yeah, we know this. It's in our community.
Away from the Raiders Stadium, the Las Vegas Strip, and
Gee.
What is that?
It's one of the lofts that are for sale here. But why is our tech guy tangenting? Nobody brought this up.
Our tech guy is doxing us as well.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
R.I.P. us, guys. There was a good run. 303 episodes.
Yep.
Now we've all officially lost it.
All right, burn it to the ground.
Anyway, he continues on to say, the purpose of this letter is not to debate the merits of your baseless allegations, but rather to simply provide you with notice that this firm is preparing to file legal claims on behalf of Mr. Cabral against you. As such, you must from the time forward preserve any and all materials, including but not limited to messages, list all the platforms, documents, publications, and other social media posts, whether private or public, notes, drafts, audios, or video recordings, and call logs bearing any relation or relevance to Mr. Cabral. Failing, come on, Chance. Failing to preserve these materials is grounds for Mr. Cabral to ask that sanctions be imposed against you by the court before which this matter be resolved. To be absolutely clear, Mr. Cabral is not a cheater. He does not mark cards. You have said these false things with malicious intent. We will prove this in a court, and you'll be ordered to compensate him for any and all injury caused by your statements.
How do you prove injury?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, defamation law is it's very weird.
Why didn't he ask him to preserve the cards and videotape as well?
Right. I feel like the natural response here is like Conrad the Hood lawyer just tweets, "Yo, Mr. Cabral and Daniel Ravacher, father, lawyer, and trader. We need you to preserve Martin's fingernails and the cards. Failure to do so will get this thrown out in court because I said so."
God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it does kind of read a little bit clowny. And maybe it's just because like this is something that should be mailed to them or served to them in some sort of capacity, but instead it's being tweeted publicly. I don't know. It's weird. But I'm also like coming to a lot of these conclusions based off the interview that Martin did with Doug yesterday. And, him getting a platform to speak seemed like a pretty big opportunity to clear his name. But from the hour-ish that he was on there, he talked a lot. I will give him that much. He said many words.
But he said nothing.
He really didn't say anything.
Yeah.
It's so impressive how people could do that.
I heard that he talked very fast for a long amount of time, and it kind of got strenuous.
Yeah, I mean, every time Doug asked him a question, he would spend a lot of words not answering the question, which was kind of impressive, to be quite honest. Like,
he's really
It's a
good at
skill set.
filibustering.
yes,
Yeah, it's a skill set. For sure.
He got asked directly about this defamation or whatever, and this was the only direct answer that he gave the entire interview, where he just basically said, "I'm not going to speak on behalf of my legal team. They'll do a better job of coming public with this, so stay tuned," kind of thing. So it does
Lock
sound,
in.
yeah. He did say log in.
Did he really?
I think he or somebody else. I don't remember.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
maybe
it's
maybe
a
you
sick-
said it yesterday.
It's
I
a
don't
sick
remember.
meme at this point. You got to stay locked in.
It's a great meme.
It's in my head, so maybe you said it on the pod yesterday.
He first said, need to preserve his hands. If the cards don't stick, you can't quit. Thanks,
Nice.
Efro, for being here every day. You're
Yeah.
the best.
But Doug did ask him a line of questions that I think were pretty reasonable. He asked him about the marking of the cards, and most of the way Martin defended himself was by saying he doesn't know how to cheat, which is a weird defense because, like, if you're not a cheater, that's implied.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know the details about how you don't know anything about cheating. Like, Doug was very direct. He would just say, like, okay, but you can understand how the other players in the event could be uncomfortable if they see you pressing down hard on a card. Like, why were you doing that? And he kind of like danced around the question, saying like, I don't even know how to cheat. I don't know how to mark cards. If I were marking the cards, I wouldn't know how to use it, yada, yada, yada. But basically, I have these ticks. And part of these ticks are me, indenting cards. And he said if anybody had asked him not to do so, he would have replied and said like, okay, I'll do my best not to. And I find that to be very odd. Like, I mean, maybe there is a world where it's just socially weird to call somebody out for doing that in real time. But I've played a lot of poker. I mean, if you suspect somebody of doing something fucked up, like at some point you just bring it up as a table conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best part about what he said, I don't know how to cheat. Everybody knows how to cheat, especially if you're playing in a high stakes game because you want to protect yourself from people cheating.
That's partly true. But he said that nobody mentioned it to him over 3 days of play, and I find that to be quite odd. He also said he wasn't there when the floor said that they made the ruling on the final day that you weren't allowed to stand up with an active hand. When on camera, he said the exact opposite. I think it was Alex said, "You were here at the beginning when the floor spoke to us, correct?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Yes." And he goes, "Okay, so you remember when he said you can't stand up during an active hand?" And Martin was like, "That doesn't apply to me." So
Didn't Chance even say this was literally applied to you?
Yeah.
He said this is a rule.
He goes, they made this
for you.
rule to protect us from you. If you have any other questions, let us know.
Yeah.
They made this rule for you to protect us.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, let us know.
Chance also made the point of that he might be pretending to cheat.
Right.
Where like, okay, like it's already like these accusations and like, theories around him cheating. So he just leans into it.
Yeah.
So people won't bluff him as much for fear that he knows what their cards are.
Well, also,
which is
if he was cheating in previous days,
that is next level.
He would continue to make it look like he's doing the same
Right,
exact thing,
yeah,
even though he's not doing that same exact thing.
Right, and people won't bluff him as much. And
it's just smart.
So Bonomo put out a tweet thread that I actually thought was really well written and kind of sums up why this is such a big deal, because I think at this point we're tired of like a lot of this cheating allegations getting thrown around. We're tired of like always shining a light on the dark side of poker. But I think what you're seeing is a community that's like kind of purging itself of the underhanded, but like the underhanded behavior, the heavily incentivized exploitative behavior that takes place in the community. I just think we're seeing like a lot of purging taking place because new sort of arenas are popping up and they're less secure, as they naturally will be in their early iterations, than things that have been established. So when you're talking about like the fact that live streams are popping up en masse now, right? Like that's not the same as Maury running a poker production, which was the way it was for 20 years.
Right.
There was no competitor. No one else was doing it. Now all of a sudden there's a dozen or 2 dozen live streams throughout America, and maybe even more whenever you look worldwide. So of course we're going to find some security flaws. We're going to see things like the Jack 4 hand happen. We're going to see things like Possible take place because not everybody's crossing every T and dotting every I, right? Well, now it's kind of becoming the same thing where when you add in the impact of these high rollers, which is relatively new market, we're talking like less than 6 years of being a staple of MTT.
Like 6-figure buy-in plus.
Yeah. It creates a bigger opportunity to steal, so to speak, or to potentially cheat, right?
Man, the argument of how dumb would he be to cheat on a live stream was clearly proven otherwise from the Possible stuff.
It's a ridiculous take. I mean, like
why would he cheat?
Because he can, right? Like that's always the simple answer, is because he can, and because the security measures aren't strong enough to catch it.
Allegedly cheat.
Right, but it's not a why would he? It's why would anybody?
Sure.
And the simple answer is because no one's necessarily policing it, right? So we don't know what's going to come out of this. We don't know if Martin even did anything nefarious or not, and by no means am I accusing him of doing so. But the whole point is that the opportunity is there because the market's still new and we haven't built out proper protocols necessarily to police everything. So it's important for the community to kind of call attention to this stuff. And this Bonomo thread, I think, is like a really telling one because it does go back to the early days of when high rollers first started to become a big part of the scene in 2017. He said, "Let me tell you about 2 of the most stressful, unpleasant poker experiences I ever had. One occurred in a tournament I cashed for $600,000 in. The other was a tournament that I won for the biggest score of my career," which can you find out? I think it was the $1 million one drop, Guap, but can you find out for sure? Said, "I'm not mentioning that I did well to brag, but rather to stress that I'm not being biased by bad luck or random external circumstances. Imagine how bad an experience would have to be to have a gigantic win in a tournament, yet stand out in my memory as the worst or the most unpleasant experience I've had. I'll talk of the latter 2 experiences first. I have to be careful with what I say because lawyers were involved due to something involving payouts, understatement of the year. This sucks that it's kind of cryptic because I'm pretty tapped into like what's going on in the high stakes scene. I'm not privy to. I don't remember what this was about. What was his biggest score?
Bro won the one drop.
It was the one drop, right? But where was it at? Where did it take place?
In Vegas, right?
2018 WSOP $1 million one drop.
Okay, so
it was a WSOP event.
No, it wasn't.
Why does it say WSOP?
Well, I'm saying that he must. When he's saying, I don't want to put words in Bono's mouth, but when he's saying that it was one of the biggest scores of his career, it couldn't have been the one drop because he's basically saying it took place in a foreign land.
There is a Hong Kong $2,000 or $2 million buy-in, super high roller bowl, Macau.
Okay, it might have been that one then.
Macau for 4.8.
4.8 US?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it was that one that he's referring to.
Probably that one.
He said, the people running this tournament were very experienced and didn't understand the importance of game integrity with a 6-figure buy-in. They wanted to change everything after we had already all bought in, how seating worked, the payout structure, the rebuy rules, and quite a lot more. For example, they wanted to seat all of the pros against each other and the amateurs against one another. They announced this to us minutes before the tournament started. My core memory of this tournament was the constant feeling of being on edge for 3 days straight. I was playing ultra high stakes, yet most of my attention was spent watching over the floor and even quite a lot of time literally yelling at them. Because the pros, especially the foreign ones, would have been cheated had we not constantly watched and yelled. I wanted to focus on playing cards, but the tournament staff made that impossible for me. There were dozens of fires they kept starting. The more aware vocal players like myself had no choice but to keep putting them out. I won the tournament and I'm incredibly grateful for that. It was a huge win for my career, but just thinking about it brings me back to this uneasy feeling in the pit of my stomach I had the whole time. Every pro I talked to there had a similar experience to me. It was bad. Part of being successful at high stakes is protecting yourself from cheating, theft, and shadiness. It's not an optional skill, it's a mandatory one. I've seen entire careers be ruined and entire bankrolls vanish from honest players who were just not careful enough. The other of the two experiences was one I wrote about recently, the 2017 Super High Roller Bowl with Martin Cabrillo. He was accused of at least 3 different forms of cheating in this one tournament, and I can't say for sure which he was guilty of, if any. What I want to stress is he wasn't being the bad boy. He wasn't intimidating the other players or using speech play to gain an edge. He gave everybody the impression he was cheating, and that's not okay. What are you doing?
Oh, my bad.
Jesus.
Bro is crinkling.
What Martin does goes far beyond the issue of bad sportsmanship. He was being so incredibly shady that the players had no choice but to watch him, the floor, the cameras, and the spectators, rather than focus on the poker at play. Jesus, Chauncey. Oh, my God. They wanted to change everything after we oh, he scored me up. Jesus Christ.
Bro just took... Chauncey just tried to fly.
He really did. I was just trying to put him on the floor.
It's kind of true, though. He's just saying there's so much more mental energy on things that aren't poker because of this stuff.
Yeah. The important thing, I think this is the most important thing to highlight, is this little phrase here. He said, the assumption of game integrity shouldn't be some optional privilege that a skilled miscreant is allowed to rob from other players. And if he does, he certainly shouldn't be celebrated by the commentators for it. It is incredibly unfortunate how some of these narratives have gone down. Martin didn't just cross a line. He's bulldozed across dozens of ethical lines for many, many years straight on an extremely consistent basis. Even if we're unable to definitively prove that he cheated, he should be absolutely barred for depriving his opponents of the assumption that their game is fair. That is simply not an acceptable thing to do. High-stake games can only exist if the players believe the games are fairly run. Once you take that away, the players will leave the game and the game will die. It's happened many times before and it will continue to happen moving forward. I think that's like a really important summary of the concerns that the high-stakes players have in this particular situation. So much of it has been dismissed as this guy's antics are just annoying. He's just a pain in the ass to play with. And this is largely within the realm of speech play in order to gain an edge by making your opponents uncomfortable. What's being overlooked in all that is the uncomfortable feeling that the players have is not annoyance or hatred towards a person for acting a certain way.
It's not Kasuf-esque.
Right. Yeah. It's not the Kasuf thing. It's fear. It's fear that they are potentially being cheated. And I've played enough high-stakes private games where I know what this feels like. You go on downswings that seem completely improbable in an environment that you know could potentially be cheated. And it starts to play tricks on you, right? It's one thing to understand that variance occurs and that, you know, you're not always going to get the outcome that you seek. It's a whole other to have to compartmentalize the fact that maybe you just weren't operating on a fair playing field to begin with and you got. And when that happens for large sums, like, to his point, it can end a career.
It's not the same as some guy being annoying and then you get to the whole check your privilege bit, you know?
Right.
Because at that point you're like, okay, this guy's just being annoying. Now it's kind of up to you to deal with it. Versus I'm scared there's some cheating going on that I'm not aware of, and I hope something else takes control of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the scary thing, right? Is that we spoke about this a lot the past 3 days whenever we were covering it, but so much of this is us putting trust in the operators. And that's the way it should be. It's their event. Their integrity is on the line as much as anybody else's. And we should be able to comfortably walk up to a window, hand them more money, and expect a fair game. The issue becomes whenever you're dealing in this gray realm of what's fair and what's not, right? Like, to Bonomo's point, Martin, he's playing fast and loose with ethics, right? Like, he's crossing a lot of ethical lines. But he didn't technically break any WSOP rules.
No, it wasn't cheating in that sense.
Right. Like, well, there were no rules broken, right? Now, marking cards, of course, if proven otherwise, is going to be a breach of rules and would lead to some sort of punishment down the line, I imagine. But to Bonomo's point, when you're so ethically compromised as far as the way that you're willing to take advantage of your opposition's I guess, view of you being in the game, the reputation that Martin brings to these games, and the fear that he is potentially seeking unsavory edges, it does put the doubt of game integrity in the minds of anybody who's aware. And it's not just Martin. There are plenty of characters in this space that when they sit down at a table, you know, you have a certain sense of like, am I being scammed? Men the Master is still playing the WSOP, right? Like, we know this guy is a proven cheat. He had a whole ring of people collecting chips from casinos nationwide and dumping them to him mid-event so he could chip himself up. I mean, you know, those days are long gone, I'm sure, but like, why are we just trusting that process has been policed rather than just kicking the fuck out?
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's just insane. Why are we so slow to ban people and take the privilege of playing away from them? And I'm not saying that should apply to Martin here. Like, that's not my call. I wasn't in the event. I don't truly know how egregious all of this stuff is. I saw the antics on TV, and as a viewer, it's entertaining. It's fun. It's funny. I wouldn't want to be in any of their shoes, right? And for that reason alone, as a peer, I obviously align myself a lot more with the Robos and the Bonomos in this instance, because they deserve an environment that is on the up and up. But like, when we have instances of people who are very clearly cheats, like they've been caught, they've been banned elsewhere, why are we so slow to drop the hammer on them? You know, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I know that we're steering off now into something a little bit adjacent, like when we're talking about the Men, the Masters of the world, the Russ Hamiltons of the world, the Alis and Jakes. It just seems like such an easy opportunity for major tours like WPT, WSOP to set a precedence.
I think we're kind of just becoming that guy. We just say this all the time.
I know.
It's like, it's kind of absurd.
Well, like, what do we do if we don't talk about it? You know what I mean?
No, I don't think that's wrong to talk about it. I just think that it's crazy that it hasn't happened yet. Like, there isn't an alliance.
Well, there's a reason, right?
Yeah.
We just don't know it.
Why?
Yeah.
Right. And I think Men the Master is like the key one, the one to key on, in my opinion. Right. It's the one to key in on. Him and Russ Hamilton. Like, the fact that those two specifically have not been banned from the WSOP worries me. That.
Do we know Russell Hamilton has not been banned?
I guess I don't know for sure.
He doesn't really play, so we don't know for sure.
Yeah, I guess I don't know for sure.
Yeah, but
there was a time where post UB he was still playing, I believe. So at least there was a window of time where he for sure was not banned, and I think his banner was still hanging for sure at the Rio. I don't know if they brought it over to Paris or not.
I hope not.
So it's like, yeah, like when no action is taken in those regards, it's concerning, right? Because this is what's happening at the top level. We don't know what's happening, you know, at a lesser scale.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that if you catch someone red-handed, obviously they're going to get the ban hammer. But I don't think that's the bar of where it should be set.
No, but that seems like where the bar
currently is
right?
set.
Yeah, I think maybe they think that it's like some sort of like slippery slope to start banning people without absolute proof. But
they ban people for such less.
Yeah, no, I know, but they, yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Like, what?
Well, I mean, and you know,
Panzika.
I'm not saying Panzika didn't deserve to be banned. Like, you can't be in a room full of thousands of people and say like, I'm going to bring an AK or whatever.
Right.
The fuck
I wish
said.
I had an AK. Right. I think.
Whatever the fuck he said.
Right.
Honestly, it's even speculative what he said. I have no idea. I wasn't there.
Yeah, it's kind of like a different. That's like a different situation, right? Once you incite violence or threaten violence, I think they just have this like zero policy, like gone.
Yeah.
Right. Where
but again,
with
they're
cheating,
taking the security guard's word for it.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I know, but I think they're more just the environment, the world we live in today. Mm-hmm. They're going to take a harder stance on threats to people's lives than threats to people financially.
Yeah, and I don't mean to compare the two because I think it's very smart to take anything like that seriously. Right. And I think that they should.
Mm-hmm. But I think once they start, in their minds, they start, banning people off of like circumstantial evidence or people accusing them of cheating, then it's a slippery slope where now they have to like start banning like people start coming out and saying this person cheated. Well, now we got to ban this person because this person said he did something, and
Well, it's not. Obviously, I'm not advocating for hearsay.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
No, of course. Right.
There's enough. There's no hearsay with Men the Master.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not hearsay. Like he was absolutely caught
Many times.
cheating, like blatantly cheating. Bringing in foreign chips to events.
How was he caught? Do we know like the details of it?
I think it was at the Brigada, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, that sticks out in my mind.
Yeah, I obviously I'm just going off of recollection. I'm sure
Right.
there's an article out there if we had the time to look for it. But like, yeah, this was a long-standing thing. So it's like, why is there some sort of stature on this that's expired?
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's any reason not to retroactively. My whole thing is that playing poker for a living or for recreation is a privilege, right? Like it's not an inalienable right.
Right.
You don't deserve just by being born to be able to buy into the World Series, right? So like if you're some sort of shady character in the community, honestly, I don't necessarily know that it's that egregious to just like get it to a point where we trust that these major operators have somebody on their staff who's dialed in enough to make that call.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It is a slippery slope though, because obviously then you could look at somebody like Bonomo and say, well, he has a past and he was caught.
Yep.
Like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
And it's like, we all could agree that Bonomo is very reformed and a big upstanding member of the community.
Absolutely.
So it's like, why does he get a pass and Men the Master doesn't? So I get it, man. Nothing's black and white. I'm just using that as a very clear example because Man the Master hasn't done anything to reform himself or be an upstanding member of the community. And
I think we have to start somewhere.
Agreed.
That's the thing.
Agreed.
We have to put our foot first and start walking.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the big thing is that like I want to point out why I think this is happening before we wrap. It's because the high stakes arena is now entering these tours, right? This wasn't a problem when the biggest buy-in was 10K. Because we were all playing for a lot of money, but they were big fields, and the likelihood of somebody gaining an unsavory edge throughout multiple days and thousands of people and all this other shit is like pretty low. Yeah. You're not going to cheat the main event. That's really fucking hard, right? Like there just isn't going to be a very good system to cheat the main event.
But when you're playing a 50-person field, it's
exactly.
a lot
Now we're
easier.
playing small fields for many millions of
Couple
dollars,
hundred,
and they're becoming
$500,000.
extremely commonplace.
Yeah.
Right? They're as common as the 10K championships have been for the last 3 or 4 decades. So it's like with this new arena comes a whole new set of eyeballs and a whole new set of opportunity to be scandalous.
10Ks aren't the highest stake anymore.
Not even close. Right? Like it's the upper tier of mid stakes, or maybe the bottom tier of high stakes. I don't know. But either way,
That's the worst of the best.
Yeah.
Now, where it used to be the only thing.
right. And either way you look at it, like this whole new realm is developing. It's not just WSOP. It's also going to be PokerGo. It's going to be Triton. It's going to be WPT. I believe is
They're
bringing
running
back
$1 million.
Alpha 8.
Yeah.
There's $1 million buy-in coming up in December. Like, it's very critical that we get this right, man.
Yeah.
And setting examples now to carry us into the future, I think, is going to be a lot stronger of a position than kind of just letting it be a free-for-all and seeing where the chips fall.
I think it hurts barrier of entry too, because if recreational players want to play high buy-in tournaments and think, oh, there may be a chance that someone's doing something crazy, and that person just is at their table, it's like, oh no.
Well, that's the thing. That's a really good point that I don't think people understand enough. If, let's say, Bill Klein and Dan Shack just decide, I'm not fucking playing these things anymore because I don't like this type of behavior.
Bro might be doing something.
Yeah. And that's enough for me to not play it. That's 2 people, right? That doesn't seem like a big deal.
But then people stop entering.
That's 5% of the field.
And they're losing win rate, right? Because other people wouldn't play because it's not as good of a tournament.
Even if there's no ripple effect, you've just lost 5% of the field.
Sure. No, you don't get 2 in one show.
You don't get 2 in one show.
Well, you guys are going to love this one.
Oh, no.
It's a motherfucking CSA. Guapo, hit that button.
Come on.
Dude, did you have an animation?
No.
What's happening here?
Last night in the 10K PLO,
Yeah.
Palmer and Wesley got into a huge
Palmer
fight.
was in the 10K PLO?
Yeah. He just fucking got third in something.
I don't care.
What do you mean? He plays everything.
Go on.
Anyway, they get into a huge fight.
Okay.
Wesley got a 1-round penalty.
Wesley from Hustler?
Yep. Wesley
Okay.
got a 1-round penalty for continuing to call Nikki P white trash. Wesley tanked 5 minutes pre in a limp pot just to tilt Nikki.
Wow. Honestly, I'd kick them fucking both out.
Both of them fucking go for that one. All
Actually,
right.
I feel
like
for Nikki here.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I actually feel for Palma there. I would kick Wesley out for sure.
We gotta go fucking win a tag team.
these fucking
I
guys
got the
out of here,
Persian
dude.
fucking Falcon down at the goddamn horseshoe right now, waiting to register.
Freddie Deep?
Wow, did he steal Freddie's name? Do I have Freddie's brother?
Man, I hope you have Freddie Deep on your team. All right, that's going to do it for us today. We're headed out to the tag team event. You can catch us on site, grinding with our partners somewhere in the Paris building. We'll be back again tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Hopefully, someone in this room is in a day too. We'll see you all then.
If we all make it, no pod.
10 a.m.